All right, welcome back to the channel. I'm sitting here in the Skyline. I'm gonna do a little bit of a, I guess you could say, a tutorial on how to set up your Haltech can gauge. So one of the benefits of that is instead of having separate gauges, like for example a boost gauge, a air fuel ratio gauge, exhaust temp gauge, it's a bunch of gauges all in one. So me personally, years and years and years ago, I used to like having a couple gauges up on a dash, just kind of looked cool or whatever. But now I just kind of like it to be nice and clean. So everything is all inclusive into one gauge. You can set it up through your phone or your iPad. I typically use my phone, but for the video, I'm going to use my iPad to set it up just to make it easier to see. But here is what it looks like. Let's see if I can get it, turn it on here, maybe see a little bit better. Hopefully you can see that without all the reflection. But as you can see, you can scroll through a bunch of different pages. You can set up to whatever your application needs. But so yeah, so for me personally, I use coolant and air temperature, oil pressure and oil temperature. Then I have a separate one set up for air fuel ratio, boost, my ethanol content or e-content, the speedometer, which I don't really use that much, but I have it on there just in case I need it. I need to adjust it. It's a little bit inaccurate right now, but that's something I'll have to do later. And then what gear I'm in. So that's just what I use. There's a variety of different things that you can set up on, which I'll cover here in just a second. All right, so one thing I suggest you do is write down all the sensors you have or that you want to monitor. Kind of write those down. That way you kind of get a list, and then you can kind of compare them up, kind of like oil temp and oil pressure, coolant temp and like say air temp, things like that. So once you get that written down, what you're going to do is go in and download the app. All right, so next thing you're going to want to do is search for Gauge Art, and then that'll bring up this Gauge Art Can Programmer. Can Gauge Programmer. You're going to download that, which mine is downloading now. So once you've downloaded it, go ahead and open it up. And then it's going to tell you that the Wi-Fi is not turned on or it's not connected. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn your key to the on position, which this will turn on. All right, so now you're going to have to go to your Wi-Fi connection. There it is. And then you click Gauge Art. Now yours would probably have a passcode you got to put in. Mine, I'm assuming remembered it from the last time I had it loaded. So then you can go back to this. Go back to the main page. And it'll ask if you want to allow it to connect, so you're going to want to let it connect. And it may give you an error. You may have to do it. Yeah, see, there it goes. Could not connect to Wi-Fi, so just go back and do it again. Waiting for device. Now, if you look, it says programming mode. It's rebooting. So now this is where you can create your configurations. Hopefully that is not blurry as it looks in my lens here. But it says create configuration, load configuration, and send configuration. So you're going to create a configuration, select compatible device, select Haltech, hit done, hit next. Now you can add a gauge. So you can put one gauge on here, up to 4 gauges on a single page. And you can do up to, I believe it's 10 pages of gauges. I haven't found a need for that. I typically do 2 gauges per page. And then I do set up at the end of those 1 gauge for the important stuff as well. So I'm gonna go number of gauges. I'm gonna do 2. Tap to add gauge, and then the parameter, you're gonna touch that, and then you can scroll through, and as you can see, there's tons and tons and tons of different things that you can do on here. So I'm gonna do oil pressure and oil temp for my first 2 gauges. if I can find them. So there's oil temp. I'm gonna do oil pressure first. And hit previous page, and as you can see, it shows up there. And then you can do the same thing here for oil temperature. So I'll just go to let's see, oil temperature, and then you can do it Fahrenheit or Celsius, which I'm gonna do it Fahrenheit. Previous page, and as you can see, they're set up. So then you're gonna click next page, add to, do coolant temp in Fahrenheit, hit done. Previous page, and you're just going to repeat that till you get completely done. Oh, actually, I think I want to do intake temp. Nope, maybe that's what air temp was. So hit done. So there's my coolant temp and intake temp. And then next page, which I will probably do my e-content and probably boost. I'll do a separate boost one later on as well. So it's actually considered fuel content, I believe. Fuel composition. Previous page. And then what did I say? I was going to do boost. Oops, wrong one. There we go. And that should be manifold pressure. Done. I messed that up. Let me go back. So I'm gonna finish adding these, and then I will be right back here. There we go. PSI. Let's go back it up, and there we go. So let me finish setting these up, and then I will be right back. To set up the 1 gauge, just to add that, I know I said I'd be right back after I got done, but you don't have to hit 1, you just hit add gauge, and then we're gonna do air fuel, or I guess it's considered lambda. Let's see, where's it at? There it is. Lambda 1, previous page, and then that's set up. Next page, I'm gonna do boost, just so if I need to see it a little bit bigger. And then so on and so on. You can just continue to add whatever you've got on there. So let me finish setting these up, and then I will show you how to load it onto the gauge itself. Okay, so another thing I want to show you is you can actually set up different parameters. So for example, I think I have set up here coolant temp sensor. So you can set a minimum, maximum that it'll read. So it won't read over 250 degrees and it won't read below 32 degrees. You can also enable minimum warning. So if it gets below that temperature, for example, it'll show a warning, or if it gets above a set parameter, you can it'll show a warning as well. So to set a minimum, you would just hit that little button and then key in whatever number you want it to warn you at. And then for the maximum, kind of do the same thing. You would hit this little tab here and then key in whatever value you want it to alert you once it gets above. So for example, just in this case here, I'm not going to set it up to this, but once it hits 225 degrees, it will throw a red light on the gauge and alert you that, hey, it's getting too hot or above the temperature you have it set at. And then you'll know to shut the car off or do whatever you need to do. For example, with boost, it'll do the same thing. You can set it to a certain boost pressure. So if it gets above that boost pressure, you don't accidentally overboost or anything like that. You can let off the gas or whatever you got to do. So it has that set up for speed, for all kinds of different stuff, RPMs, a lot of different stuff. So you can set that up as well. I didn't cover that earlier in this, and I meant to, because I usually don't use them, except for I will use it for temperatures and boost, but that's about all I ever use it for. So just another nice feature of the Haltech can gauge to use. Okay, so now that I've added everything I'm going to add onto it, what you're going to do is you're going to hit the save button up here at the top. Going to save the file. I'm just going to do I'll just do mine as main layout, since this is what I typically use. And then you're going to hit save. Then it'll say file saved successfully. So once that's done, hit OK. Now what you're going to do is you're going to hit send configuration. And then it's going to enter that into programming mode, which it's in now. And then it will do its thing here. And it'll say sent successfully. And then this will reboot. And then as you can see, oil pressure is 0 because I don't have the car running. Oil temp is 70 degrees. Coolant's 85, air is 81, which is probably about right. Ethanol 62. Let's see. So air, fuel, boost, speed, and then gear, which it may or may not. Yeah, probably got to be moving for it to work. But yeah. So and then it just cycles back through. And like I said, you can add up to 10 pages, and then you can save it, and you can actually do different pages and load different configurations based off of whatever it is that you're wanting to do. So pretty straightforward and easy. One thing I would tell you is to disconnect your phone from it if you use your phone and you have it with you, because sometimes it will keep calls or whatever. At least in the past, it's caused me connection issues, because you don't have to have it connected all the time except for when you want to change something. So that's one thing that I've had an issue with in the past, is it automatically connecting to that gauge, and then texts and stuff wouldn't come in and out. So I always just disconnect that piece of it. It takes 2 seconds to reconnect it if I need it, but it's more convenient in the long run. But anyways, so that's all there is to it. It's pretty straightforward and easy. If you have any questions, post it and I'll try and answer it. But I'm sure Haltech's website also tells you, I'm guessing. But anyways, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And as always, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks.